Now, as the battle continues in the Ukrainian city of Bakhmut, an aide to President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has said they continue to fight in preparation for a planned Ukrainian spring counter-offensive. For more than 7 months, the small industrial city in eastern Ukraine has been pounded by Russian forces. Let's take a closer look at what is happening on the ground with former military intelligence officer Philip Ingram. So, Philip, let's talk through what's going on the ground there. We've actually been hearing about shelling in Kherson. What can you tell us about that? And then let's talk about Bakhmut as well.
Yeah, we've just got some reports in of shelling going into Kherson, which is down in the south, that area that the city that was captured back by the Ukrainians at the end of last year. And according to Ukrainian officials, 3 people have died. Now, shelling into the cities close to the front line is not unusual. It's going on a daily basis. And that front line is enormous. You know, the front line, it's 1,200 kilometres, about the same distance as between here in London and Barcelona. And we're all focused in on Bakhmut, and everything is happening in Bakhmut. And why? Because the Russians, if they capture Bakhmut, want to be able to get up into some of the other cities in the disputed Donbass region, for example, Sloviansk. And they're using that as a stepping stone to move forward. However, it seems as if they haven't been able to generate the sufficient combat power that they needed to do that, to carry out this spring offensive we've been looking for. So what's happening in Bakhmut at the minute is the Wagner private military company have come up to the Bakhmut River. They've captured most of the east of the city. But the Ukrainians have made a clear decision to stay and fight. And along that river, there's a clear area of between 200 and 800 metres, which effectively is just a killing ground. The Russians have lost between 20,000 and 30,000 dead just trying to capture this city, and they've been at it for over 7 months now. Ukrainians holding that, they're fixing the Russians in place. They're fixing them from that military perspective, so dragging more military in to destroy them, but they're fixing them from a psychological perspective, and that takes the Russians' attention off what the Ukrainians may be doing somewhere else.
Right, OK, gosh, that figure is striking, isn't it? 20 to 30,000 losses as far as the military is concerned. Let's look further afield then, right the way through this offensive. You and I and other analysts, we've all been talking about Moldova.
Yes.
The United States has mentioned that it believes Russia, there's a picture of Moldova, is trying to destabilise Moldova. Why is that? What's the significance of it?
Yes, another unprecedented release of US intelligence reports getting into there to suggest this. The Russians originally wanted to come out of Crimea and go right and capture the disputed Donbass region, and go left and go up to Moldova and link up with Transnistria. Now, Transnistria is a breakaway part of Moldova. Russian troops are there at the moment, and Moldova is tight up against the NATO's border. Now, what Russia's trying to do is deflect from everything that's going on inside Ukraine by destabilising Moldova itself. And it's a standard tactic. And it's a tactic that they use to do 2 things. One, try and distract the international community. Secondly, to distract their own internal audience from the failures that they're achieving in Ukraine.
OK, Philip Ingram, thanks very much indeed for giving us all that information on what's going on the ground in Ukraine.